Boots got soaked. Gotta auto wax these. These wet feet. It's my second pair of socks too. Damn it. Nights. And this is my casita. This is my little minivan, my camper van. It's a beautiful little rig. It's my home. It takes me everywhere I want to go. It's only a two-wheel drive. It's a 1989 Toyota van. So I'll show you what's inside and show you this little camp that I have set up. Just basically how I do it. So it's been pouring rain, snowing. It got real cold. It's always fun. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Just to have fun. But I highly recommend if you can get any kind of a little van. The Toyota Previa is a killer little van. And I'll show you what I've done inside. You can make it into a little camper van for easily under $200. I'll show you how. Check it out. So, I thought I'd start off with the bed. Right, you can see here's the bed, and all I did was I actually went on Craigslist. This is how cheap you can do it, right? If you can see this frame, I went on Craigslist, looked up IKEA. I might have typed free IKEA or whatever, but just type in IKEA on Craigslist and you'll get hundreds of listings. This one was a twin bed frame with the mattress, and the guy wanted just to have somebody come pick it up, get rid of it. So I drove up, it fit in, got it home, and all I did is I took the twin mattress and I took this all apart. I cut it in half. So it was this big. I cut it in half. It's perfect. It's about, I think it was 3.5 feet wide. And then I didn't even have to cut the length. And that's it. Now I've got a beautiful bed frame. It came with the mattress, and I got a razor blade and just cut that to fit. I think it's a 6-inch memory foam, so for free. And if you had to buy it, I think I saw it was like $80 for the mattress and the frame, and it's a wooden frame. So that's the bed setup. Fits in perfect. I'll show it to you from behind too. This is my pride and joy. This is an MMS sleep system. So you've got your black bag and your green bag. And forever I had it with the black bag on the outside and the green on the inside. But I was watching a video by Iowa Woodsman, I believe, and many other videos, and I kept seeing the green bag outside because this is the lighter weight bag. The black bag is the heavier, but I had it the other way. I had it black on the outside, green on the inside. Turns out that it was designed to have green on the outside and the black goes on the inside. And over this would go the bivy bag. So I just rearranged it, re-snapped it, put it together this way. I don't know. I've been sleeping in it. I didn't really feel a difference, but the military designs things a certain way for a certain reason, right? And it looks cooler, right? It's green now. You know, I love camo, green, everything. So I'll show you my little kitchen. Well, no, first I'll show you the trunk. So this is the trunk, and this is where I spend probably, I'd say 80% of my time back here. You see here I've just got wood piled up, some wood under the bed. Here's that bed frame, you can see it. Just beautiful. I think it's pine, but all I did was just, cut it in half, and look at that. Beautiful bed. So in here I've got tools, You know, here's my shovel. Dry wood. This is my toolkit, so I've got, you know, all kinds of, I've got the road flares, extra oil, all kinds of repair stuff, jumper cables, battery pack, everything you can need. This is my little toolkit. And the thing with the wood, you can see it's piled in here. These are awesome if you can find one of these. Found this at Goodwill. It's just a leather wood carrier. Perfect. Save yourself a lot of time. You can make one with, you know, a knot so you can pick stuff up and carry it. Because it's all about being smart, right? You don't want to be wasting energy and making multiple trips when you could have something like this, right? I'll show it to you out there. Pile in, you know, 10 logs and you're good to go. And what's awesome, I'll zoom out, but it's got this lid, right? We've got the lid up, and you can literally, I've been here in the pouring downpour. Under this lid, totally dry. So it's a little extended living area. It's beautiful. So you can see this lid. I'm 6 feet tall. I fit under here. I've still got another foot. But it's just the ultimate little, you know, during the summer when it's super hot, you can open this and be under it. It'll give you shade, but I've literally been under this in downpour. It's full on awning. See that? A little extra living space. This is the roof rack. I got this on Amazon and it was delivered, I think it was $118. And the roof rack changed everything for me, because now what I do when I first show up is I run around to the campsites, right? I always come up on a Sunday or Monday after everybody's packed up and left. Try and come up around 1, 2 in the afternoon. You arrive, you can hit all these campsites and you scavenge all the firewood that they've left behind. Most people are weekend warriors, right? So they're gonna get away on Friday night. And if they bring wood, they bought the wood, they come up and they use the wood, but they got to get back to work on Monday, okay? So they're not packing that wood back home, right? They have no use for it, and they're not going to take the time to do it, and so they just leave it. So you'll show up. The first thing I do is I'll show up to, this is just dispersed camping, right? There's 25 sites. It's about a 5-mile radius. First thing, get your site, secure it. I mean, if you're passing by and it's a golden score, because I've seen, it's on video too, where I've showed up and it was, you know, a lot of these sites are group sites, so there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 families in motorhomes. So the amount of wood they need is, you know, amazing. I've also found that a lot of them are just coming up here and cutting down trees. You can see the sawdust from the chainsaw and they've just cut it down. That's a big no-no. Anyway, I've shown up. I'm 6 feet tall up to here. 8 feet wide walls of cut firewood. And it's all left. So scavenging. Again, secure your site, man. Because if you lose the site, then it doesn't matter that you have the wood. I know it's so tempting to, you know, I can't say that I don't do it, because if I'm driving by and it's right there and it's a score, I'll jump out real quick and grab some and keep going. So, possum mentality, right? Dave Canterbury. When you see that resource, grab it. So I'll stop, grab it. But getting your campsite secure, because if you don't have a campsite, it doesn't matter that you have wood. And campsites are like gold. But that's why you come on a Sunday or a Monday when everyone's gone home. Most people come up for the weekend. You've got a lot better chance getting a site. So here's an example. You know, somebody was here and they cut that wood. You can see that's all been cut here. But that's it. You come up, There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 pieces of wood. They're already cut for you. Saves me time and energy. So this is the kitchen. Definitely got to pick one of these up. These are $19.99 at Bi-Mart. This will change everything for you if you're doing, van camping, car camping. Great trick that I learned. You know how these work, right? They come with these butane fuels. Well, when you're going to use it, you stick it in, right? Shut it, and you engage it. Well, what happened to me is I got done using it. I think this was even up. But all of a sudden, I hear something and something's not right. And I come over to it and it's in its case and it's shaking and buzzing. And I go, what the hell? Well, this thing somehow had been triggered. So this whole thing iced up. The whole thing was like ice. And it was spewing the fuel. So what I do is as soon as you're done, every time, you use it, heat up your coffee, whatever, put the lid back on, don't lose it. Turn it around. It'll fit in here. You gotta play with it a little. There you go. These lids actually work out beautiful as wind guards. So I keep it in this little box. It protects it and it also acts as a nice little wind guard. So that's my cooktop. What's funny about these, I grew up with my mom having one of these, and I've seen these all over the world. Some of the best food in the world in little tiny, shacks and huts and street vendors and stuff are made on these right here. So my utensils are real basic, right? I mean, the truth is I'll cook steak and stuff, but that's out on the fire. I don't use much though. I'm always snacking. This is a cool little combo. It's vintage, German. Got your fork, knife, spoon. It's got a little can opener on the bottom. Goodwill, $1. Little lid. My favorite thing, this is a vintage canteen cup. You can pick these lids up. They're expensive, but they're $10 on Amazon. You can pick them up, and then you've got a lid for this. And then recently I just added this. I've never had this before, but now that I'm starting to use that gas stove, and I'm changing up the way I do things in the van. So I just picked this up at Goodwill, I got it because it said made in the USA. So it's got to be good, right? But I've used it 3 times on this trip. So there you go, I've got a little pan. Pretty cool. That's about it for cooking utensils. I mean, I've got my little canteen, my little cups out there. So that's what I'll use to pour the chunky noodle soup in, or coffee, whatever. But not much, you don't need much. That's the secret in life, you don't need much. See, in here I've got these street tacos. That was a game changer for me also. These have been in here for almost a year now. They're totally fine. Literally, it's gonna be a year because these are, I don't see a date, but I know they've been in here since this same time last year, and they're still fine. These potatoes are awesome. They taste excellent, and all you do is add the water. You can put it right in the bag too. Hot water, and you're good to go. These, big deal. These are $1 each, Tuna Creations. They'll last indefinitely pretty much. I mean, here's the expiration date. May 17th, 2022. I think they'll last for, this has been in here for 2 years probably. These are little MRI pieces. This is a big one. The peanut butter. It's a lifesaver. But you pull these out of MREs, and you can find these like at Winco. They'll have a bin if you go to the bulk food section, and they'll have peanut butter, jellies, check Winco. A lot of times they have these things. Oatmeal, Lifesavers right here, Jack Links, beef and cheese. Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff. Cream, sugar, salt, pepper. Then I've got chunky soups. These are great because you don't have to add anything, just heat it up. Good to go. That's the pantry. One thing that is awesome about the winter, I mean, the temperature while I've been here, it snowed, it's hailed. Before I came up, I saw it was supposed to get down to 28, but the high is only 45. But the winter's awesome because you don't need a refrigerator. No ice, no nothing. You know, here's this turkey, still ice cold. Milk, ice cold. Beer, ice cold. That's a big deal because during the summer, in the hot months, you need a cooler, and things need to be kept on ice. You know, depends on how long you're going to be up there. I'll eat the lunch meat. If I had this and it was 90 degrees, it's still good for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. But a lot of people like things to be, I don't know if you call it healthy, but just kind of like home. And it is smart. I like having cold things during the summer. But you leave this out for a couple days, it's not going to kill you if you eat it. Anyway, winter is the ultimate. Because this is a little refrigerator. Right? It's just tin. It's literally just a little cooler itself. Ice cold milk. Yum. Got a tarp. There's a tent. There's a hammock. There's extra tarps. Oh, you just fit it in. Underneath there, that's about all I've got. I've got, tarps, tent, and I think there's some emergency stuff under there. There's a battery jumper, so that way if you ever get stuck, you've always got to jump. And some bolt cutters, in case you ever had to need to get through a fence or something, or a gate that's locked and you got to get through. And there's a tire inflator. And then you saw in the back I've got, that toolkit. So it's got tools in it, wrenches and flares, jumper cables. But I've got everything here self-contained. I've got like a 10-gallon gas can. That's out at the little camp. So we'll go check it out. I'll show you the camp. I'll show you some tricks. One thing I forgot to mention is I talked about this roof rack, which is awesome because that's all I do. I run around and scavenge the wood and throw it up there. I literally just stop, throw it up there, and we're good to go. But the other part of the rack, obviously, are the bars, the supports, right? And I found these, and you'll find them at Goodwill. And I paid for the whole system, right? So this bar, this whole kit, this whole unit, all of it. I think it was $10. And if you buy these, this system is about $300. Plus, then you have to buy the locks, right? This part here. And what I did is I went to this company, I think it's called Re-Rack. And they sold me each one of these for $10, right? And that's the lock that goes inside here. So you can turn it, lock it. Because a lot of people used to be real popular that were stealing these. So if you get the spendy ones, these kits, the whole roof rack system, you can easily spend 5 G's if you get the real high-end ones. And if you don't have the good locking system, you can literally just come up to this thing and turn it, take it. So, again, Goodwill. So I put this whole entire thing together. That whole rack system. Like I said, the rack itself came in Amazon, I think it was literally, if I remember correctly, it was $118. Trying to see what the brand says. What does it say? Arxen. Alpha Romeo Kilo Sierra Echo November. Arxen. And it's been tough. It's held up. I've put easily a couple 100 pounds in there. No problem. It's weird because they send it to you. You have to build it. And if I were to build it again, there's some tips. When you join it comes in two pieces, and when you join it together, I would have reinforced where it joins together. You'll see if you buy one, but for $100 to have a roof rack, I mean, that's pretty incredible. And it changes your game big time. Once you've got that roof rack, you can stop, throw stuff up there. The wood I'm talking about when you're scavenging. And just keep moving. Scavenge and move. So here's base camp. I'll walk you through what I've got set up here. So you can see I've got this tarp. The thing here is that it's raining, right? And if you want to just sit, in this case, in your van and just be trapped in there, that's one thing, but that could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, right? We're in Oregon. It basically rains for 5, 6 months. And I don't want to be stuck inside. So ideally, you would find, some area where you could have your fire, right? Naturally. Where you're protected, like here or something. But the rules are we're in a state park, and you can only have your fire inside of the metal fire grade that they've created, right? So these fire pits, these were all built in the 50s up here. These are old. Think of how many tens of thousands of fires and memories have been made around that thing. But that's the thing. You can't technically have it outside of the fire pit. I mean, the rangers are here. They check in up here maybe once a day. Can you do it? 100%. But I don't want to get a ticket. And during the summer, you don't want to start forest fires. So during the summer, it's a real big deal. Right now, it's soaking wet. But basically, if you do it, they'll stop. You can get a ticket. You can get kicked out. So you're kind of stuck to this area, right? And so since I want to have a fire and stay warm and have fun, I don't want to be sitting at the, fire when it's pouring rain and the fire is going to go out. So I always set up a tarp over the fire. And that's very difficult here because what you'll see is that wherever the fire pit is, they've cleared away 20 feet all around it. So there's no trees, there's no anchor points to tie off to. Hence, we come into the tripod. The tripod, see that, gives me an anchor point. So I was able to find 3 natural anchor points. Right, I've got one over here on this little tree, one behind it, but I didn't have one here. So I built a tripod. I'm going to show you how to do this. This is a non-load bearing tripod that I learned from Dave Canterbury, of course. And it's awesome. It'll change everything for you once you learn how to make it. But you can see that I created my own anchor point. Now I've got my tarp up above the fire, right? And so we're I'd say about 8 feet above the fire, and there's 0 issues with sparks, nothing. It might warp the tarp, but these tarps, the best deal on tarps in the world, is Harbor Freight. They're excellent tarps, and they're cheap. This tarp is gotta be, I think it's a 10 by 10, and it was like $8.99 at Harbor Freight, and it's good quality, and it's camo, and the grommets are decent. That same size tarp at Fred Meyer or anywhere else, Home Depot, that thing could cost you 25 bucks. So I just load up on these tarps, Harbor Freight. They're excellent little tarps. So the heat may warp it a little. You can see some deformation there. But I've never had one catch on fire or be ruined to the point where I can't use it. What I've got there underneath is a great trick. Don't remember where I picked it up. But basically, you can see it's a sapling, right? See that? Running straight down. So what you do is I'll take it apart and just put it up so you can see it. Think of an umbrella, right? When you have the umbrella and you open it underneath and you look and it's got all those spines, right? That make the umbrella, the shape. That's the same thing you're doing with the sapling. Because what you'll do in the beginning is people will take a pole, and they'll cut it, and then they stick it up under there. And so then you'll get a sock, or people say, put moss on it or a sock, and you end up just blowing right through the tarp and there's no support. So when you use the sapling, it's got all of its branches on it, right? And it acts just like the umbrella. It spreads out and it gives you the loft. It's awesome. I'll take it down and show you. And then for tie-offs, I'd always done it, but then I found out from a buddy that in the military, when he was in, they used bungee cords, right, as part of their kit. Bungee cords. So basically I've got, I carry like 6 long, 2 short, I don't know, I've probably got 8 of these things strapped to the van. You can see I just come and piggyback them together. Boom. And here. Boom. And here I've just done a taut line hitch. Again, this rope is from Harbor Freight. I think this is 50 feet of it for like $8.99. Incredible. You can see here I just taut line hitched it all the way back to this tree. Right? So taut line hitch. Doot, 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 doot. I could have just gone all the way with, this rope and just used a toggle and tie it off there. But I like to come here, just tie a knot at the end, create a little loop, and then use your bungees. It's more flexible this way. Done. Come over here. See the same thing. Bungee, 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 bungee. Back here to the loop. There you go. So the front of your tarp is just covering the fire. You can see that. So here's the fire. Say it's burning right here, and the front of the tarp is right there. So versus having the tarp, directly over the fire with it in the center. I find that if you get it just to the back, the front of the tarp lines up with the front of the fire here, and you've got all this living space. And when we add that sapling, it pops it up just like an umbrella and gives us the angles that we need. There's a war. It gives us the angles that we need so that water sheds. You'll learn too. Sometimes water pulls up. I was sitting right here on the corner on this one on night 2. Pouring rain, I'm watching a movie, and I wasn't being mindful. You need to have a stick or something soft or a nice, camphor, something that you can touch the tarp with and not rip through it. And maybe every 10 minutes, just hit it and you'll see that water come off. You can collect that rainwater to drink it, right? Anyway, I had lost track because I was deep in this movie. And it came down and got me right here. Easily a gallon, I don't know. It dumped and boom. So that's not good. If it's freezing cold, your goal is to stay dry. It's funny when it happens, right? It's funny to laugh at the person that I've seen it happen. I've seen it. I don't think it was done on purpose, but there was somebody at some event that I was at, and the tarp was up, and it was pooling, and I'm pretty sure that we had warned them, stay away from the corners like that. You're going to get dumped on. And as we're speaking, the whole thing gave, a wind came, something, and it dumped, and it soaked him. He was a short guy, maybe 5'2", something, 5'4", and it hit him, and it was, you could just see it coming. It was like slow motion, ice cold, and it drenched him from head to toe. A bucket, just boom. All this wood is all scavenged, and I didn't split a single piece of that. That's all scavenged wood. You know, so here I've got a workbench. And just because it's burned already a little bit, that doesn't matter. That's good. Right? Because we know that if something's already burned, it's all charred up, that's the most flammable thing. That's what's going to take a spark. That's what's going to go. So just because, you know, you've got a piece like this, see, he's already half burned, that doesn't mean a thing. This guy's totally fine. So you grab that. I was told these were built, I think, in this park around in the 50s. Can you imagine that? But they've got these gates, right, that flip over, and then you can grill on them. So I always have them flip back and use those to set the wood up on. Right, let's see if you can see it. Right, because you want the wood to be drying. So there you go, you can see the grate. Get your wood up off the ground and set it up here, because then you're creating, you know, it's convection. You've got that airflow. Always try and get it up off the ground for the wet stuff. And then even when you've got your stuff on the ground, you know, there's a few rocks here. Somebody's gone through it, but you can see this is up off the ground, right? So at least it's getting airflow, it's drying. Versus just sitting on the ground, getting conduction, right? Conduction is when something's touching. So if it's just sitting on the ground, right? So if you have this log, and this is all wet, right? And you leave this thing sitting there, well, what's it doing right now? That wood is just going to soak up. That wood is going to soak up all of that water, all of that mud. While it's sitting there, it's just soaking it up, right? As it's sitting. You don't realize it, but that's, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour. You come back and look at this thing in a couple hours. If this is, you know, in the water, soaking, wet, rain, whatever, it'll be up to there. That's all soaking wet now. So keep things up off the ground. If you have to, what I'll do is I'll just pick one that you're going to sacrifice, right? And by sacrifice, I mean find a piece of wood that you go, yeah, it's not that great. It's punky, it's wet. Let's say this one. Let's just say that we don't care about that piece of wood. It's not going to work for us. Use that as your sacrifice, right? So you'd come over and say, okay, this guy is going to be sacrificed. We're going to put our wood that we want to keep up on him, right? So now we've got those two pieces up and off the ground. So now we're getting convection, right? There's airflow, and we're not getting conduction. We're going to sacrifice this one piece that's on the ground, but that one piece can save dozens of pieces. What I recommend is that you have, right, you've got your sapling, and then we've got a stick. Always get a stick like this. So this is about 4 feet. It's a thick one. It's good. Keep this next to you at all times. Set a few up around the camp. These are for defense, right? If a mountain lion got in, or someone, a person, have one of these, because then you've got something to fight with, right? So I keep one where I'm sitting, one over here, maybe grab, 2 or 3 of them. It's not being paranoid, this is protection, man. If you get a mountain lion in here, I mean, I've got protection on me to take care of that, but this can go a long ways. I mean, look at that reach, right? That just expanded my reach 6, maybe 8 feet. Also, if you get some psycho that comes in, you got a stick, you're ready to fight. Anyway, so what I recommend is you've got a sapling, you've got this, make sure that this end is nice and smooth so we're not going to rip through our tent. But don't just pull the sapling around or push it around, because you can poke holes in it. So what I do is I just take it, give it some space, and watch this. See? There we go. And this works too, but now we've got all that play from the wind. Watch, on the bungee cords, it's just going to go up and down and up and down and up and down. So what I do is take this stick, right? Get your sapling. See how it's angled? It's got all its branches on it still. And there you go. I'll come underneath so you can see what it looks like. But now we've got a secure, we've got the angles that we need with the pitch, so the rainwater is going to run off. It didn't hurt our tarp. And I'll show you how I have it anchored over here and what it looks like from underneath. So you can see it here. See how the natural, see all the pieces? How they've come like an umbrella and they're all supporting, right? These are the ribs, right? And it's supporting that evenly. It's not poking straight through. When you have just the top, if you just cut this off, it's going to rip right through your tarp. All these little branches, just like the ribs inside of an umbrella. See how nice it's pushing and holding it up? And you can find a sapling that has, much more foliage or much more ribs. And anyway, this works. You can see slight deformation there from a previous fire. See how it's kind of melted? There's a Gorilla Tape patch. Anyway, that's the trick. In this case, what I've done is come down and I've got it anchored in that grate. These camping grates, dual purpose. See how nice that anchor is? It's just stuck right down in there. Even got a little nubby there that's acting kind of as support. If you didn't have this, and you can just dig down, here, grind that, get this sapling in the ground so it has something to push off of, hold it in place basically. But look at those angles. Look at that pitch. Beautiful. That rainwater. This is where it got cut up a little bit. I had a little different configuration, and it was here, and it just dumped, and I was there, and it covered half my body. It was pretty funny. Bicycle inner tube. This one is 1 inch, right? Exactly, 1 inch. I did a video a while ago talking about scavenging and emergency fires and such, but inner tubes, anything black rubber burns, it'll burn, and it burns long and hot. So it's a great, fire extender. I'm going to show you something that I came up with. Not really came up with, because you've seen super matches where you basically take this as the outer housing, pack it full of match heads and tinder, and this becomes a super match. You've seen Gray Bearded Green Beret, Lonnie from Far North Bushcraft, he makes these super matches. But I wanted to just do an experiment. I tried it the other night, and we'll do it here. But the other thing I wanted to do, that I came up with, you see these, I think they're Exotac, they're holders for your Bic lighter. And I was playing with this, and I was like, I think I could make one just out of this. It's a 1 inch, so it's got to be 1 inch exactly, and a large Bic lighter, right, standard. and I'm going to make a holder for it. Okay? So I'll show you what I'm going to do. So what I came up with was a way to make a sheath for this, right? Because I wanted to get one of the Exotac, or I believe it's a system they have to hold the Bic lighter, but way too expensive for me. So what I did, I just played with it. I measured it to, can you see? There's the Bic lighter. So we're going to then go another, let's say, 3 inches. Okay? Okay, so we're cut. Now you'll see, it's a little cold out here, but warm this up a little bit. You can see that. You gotta push it up, push it up, push it up. Right there. And this thing is on there. I've experimented with this. Okay, you can see the level. See, there's a little bit of green. Okay, see that? Now watch. I'm gonna grab it by the tail. Spin it as hard as I can. Doesn't move. So the idea that I came up with was how to attach this, you know, so you can put it around your neck. So I'm just gonna fold it on itself here, right? And then I would put a hole through it. Well, we'll just do it. So I'm just going to fold it over. That's why I left this extra tail. I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to put a hole. Use this like an awl. All right. So we got a basic hole. I'm going to run some paracord through it, and it'll be a necklace lighter holder. But look at that. I've done it as hard as I can. Does not budge. It's in there. All right. So we've got this. I'm gonna fold it over on itself. Just try and line up those holes. Boom. Find that other hole. Boom. Right. I just did it, fold it over so we've got some more meat, because I don't want it to rip out. You know, something like that. Because one, now it's on you, right? So I could have this inside. Don't even think about it. It'd just be sitting there. Something happens, I've got it on me at all times. And I keep checking it, it doesn't move. It's in there, man. Pretty cool. And I got that inner tube at the Goodwill for 99 cents. It's a 1 inch. And later, I'm going to show you something I was just playing with. It's the Super Match, but just made on the fly, and I used it the other night and it worked great. If you're wondering about power is crucial for me because I'm filming these videos, right? So I need to be able to power up my device. I shoot all these just on an iPhone 7, and then I edit it around the campfire with iMovie. But I use these battery packs by OutXE, OUTXE. Oscar, Uniform, Tango, X-Ray, Echo. And they've been excellent. I've got 3 of them, and that lasts me just off one of them. So I fully charge them overnight, get them all charged up before I leave on a trip. And one of them will recharge my phone about 3 times fully. This is my official Joe Robinette. What do you call these things? I don't know. These are like gold. But this is the Joe Robinette version. The blue one. If you watch him, you'll get the joke. Fan the fire with him. You get into this rhythm. It's like an art form. It's meditation. I'll do it tonight. You'll hear it. It's the sound and this groove you get into. That'll save many, many a fire. Poor guy. you never know which way the wind's going to blow. So I always keep one on that side, the stool, see? So I've got a stool and a sit pad, and then I've got one on this side, a stool and a sit pad. That way, when the wind changes direction, which it's going to do on you, you know, you don't want to get smoked out, or you're gagging and your eyes are burning, so I just leave them both set up. They weigh nothing, you know. 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? So I've got one on this side, I've got one on that side. So I just move. It's the Trail Boss. I think it's a 24-incher. I can't remember. What are they called? Cold Steel. That's the name of the brand. So it's the Cold Steel Trail Boss. Right out of the package. I mean, right out of, you know, no sharpening, no nothing. This thing has been amazing. It splits like effortlessly, like a hot knife through butter. Can't recommend it more highly. Big boy. The Big Boy 2000 Silky. This thing rips through wood. This is the Baco Laplander. This is pretty much the go-to standard. It's what I started with. When I got the Silky Big Boy, it's pretty awesome. You can actually carry it around with you, but it's big and long. And so when you want to get something, you know, it's hard to get in there. But this little Baco Laplander, this was one of my first pieces of kit. Still going strong. Still love it. So I keep that on me at all times. You can see this is just the little Moraniv knife companion. These are $8.99. This thing is the ultimate feather stick creator. It's not full tang, but you can easily baton smaller pieces. There's that piece. I took it back off the bick. Got a piece of wood. Just make some feather, make some shavings. All right. So I'm just going to take this and pack these shavings into this. Get in there. Okay. Let it catch on itself. Sun's out. There she goes. And all I did here is I just added some fuel on top, right? Because you don't want to one-stick it. But my estimation was, I actually timed it, and 1 inch burnt for 1 minute. And this is about 6 inches, so I bet we're going to get 6 minutes. See that? Hey. Get back in there. Get back. See, too bad it wasn't getting close to dinner time and nighttime. I'd already have my fire going. Somebody didn't do the dishes last night. I was watching a movie that I was really into, and that's just Campbell's chunky soup. And I didn't do the dishes. So it's going to cost me now. Because you've got to do it. When you've got the fire going, get some water in there, boil it up, bring it to a boil, and it makes it a lot easier to clean. Now it's a dry mess. You fight out of your kit, right? So when you're in the military, you know, you've got your kit. That's what you're fighting out of. But what's on you, your body, that's what you survive with, right? Like that lighter, that's on me. This, it's on me. It's what's in your pockets. You survive out of your pockets, right? I've got my knife, got this. I've got lighter, I've got matches. It's what's on me, because at the end of the day, unless you're stripped naked, you know, unless you're naked and afraid, this is what I've got on me, right? So it starts here. I've got 2 wool hats. I've got a thick wool sweater. I've got wool socks. This is what's on me. So if I get separated, if I get this, I got what's on me is on me. That's it. What's in my pockets, that's what I'm going to survive with. So cut up 4 pieces of 6-foot length paracord and keep a couple of them on you at all times. Let's go down to the river. Ooh, look at all this. Look at all this firewood. Look at that. You could stay out here forever. Look at that green field. Wow. Way down here. The water must have come up here and come through, must have surged. That's wild. Look at all this wood. Amazing. Look at this mud. Took my slipper right off. Oh, oh man. Well, I was right. The water did come up here. Trying to find my way to the river, but well, it didn't get wet, so we're okay. But this stuff it's just soaked. I mean, it's like quicksand. So I don't think we're going to get to the river this way. Look at this. Here it is right here. Look at that. Old man's beard, so lichen, fungus, moss. Look at that. Beautiful tinder. Put this in your pocket. This is pretty dry, but anything you find that you want to use as tinder, find it, put it in your pocket, right? Then it gets your body heat. And it uses your body heat to dry it up. So you find it, stick it in your pocket, and in an hour, maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, check back, it's a lot drier than it was because it's using your body heat to dry. But this is so soft. Use this as toilet paper if you have to. But also, you know, the properties it has for cleanliness is amazing. And tinder. Put it in your pocket. Warm it up for later. Sun's out. Okay, so here's the tripod, the quick tripod, non-load bearing. The one that I'm using to as an anchor point. So, you've got 3 sticks, right? The same length. You've got your paracord. So, what we're going to do is we're going to create a loop. And what I've found is that you want the loop to be, put all 3 of these together. You want the loop to be basically twice as long as they are put together, right? So they're this long, right? So we're going to make our loop here. So I'm just going to take this, All we're trying to do, you could make a bowline, whatever. Fisherman's knot, square knot. I'm just going to do it down and dirty. I'm just going to tie this off. It's just an overhand knot, right? Take these three. All right, we've got our loop. Put the loop over all three of them. Okay. Get this down. Let's say there. And then all you're going to do is take the middle one and twist it. Flip it. All right. One. Let's see if we can get two out of it. There we go. And we'll set this down, and then we've got this tail, the way I did it, so this could be used as a pot hanger, right? But I'll put this down on the ground, you'll see. So what we just did is we created, you know how you wrap and frap, right? But by spinning that, it's just like a windlass. By spinning that, we just created the bindings that we need. So I'll put it on the ground and show you. Here's our little tripod. And then right here on this end is where we could put our pot and hang it over the fire. See, just like that. Get the mouth right. Right there. If you did it right, when you go to unwind it, be careful, because if you let go, it's got tension on it, it'll flip back and hit you in the face, right? Because it's basically a windlass. You know what that is. But if you spin it back, 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 see, it just falls out. And you've got your loop that we started with. All right, there's our loop. That's it. Easy peasy. This is a fun thing to do, you know, when you're passing the time, and it's a great skill to have in an emergency. It's how to make natural cordage, right? So you can see here, this is just a piece off of a fallen limb or a fallen branch, and I just peeled it off. Then you get on the inside here, and if you split this, you know, you'll find natural occurring ribbons. I don't know if you can see it. But if you grab that ribbon, be gentle in the beginning, peel it up. All right, so we get a start point. And be gentle, peel it down. All right. Looks like that, you know, party ribbon. Christmas decorations. Anyway, then what you're going to do is you're going to find the center point of this piece. So we'll say it's here. And with your right hand, we're going to twist with the right and twist with the left towards us. So twist towards the right, or twist the right hand forward, left hand backwards. Boom. And it gives us a loop. See that loop? And what we do is you pinch it. This is our top piece, this is our bottom piece. So the top piece, first thing you do is you pinch it, twist it, and then with these fingers, you grab it, and you wrap it, right? So again, on the top, twist, pick up the bottom, wrap, right? Twist, wrap, twist, wrap. It's very therapeutic pastime, and it's a great skill to have. Because if you don't have cordage, right, in the real world of survival, you don't have paracord, you don't have shoelaces, you don't have nothing man-made. If you really want to do it, you know, this is how you're going to make your bow drill. This is how you're going to make cordage. This is how it's been done for millions of years. So it's a great skill to have. Do this. see if you can see that. You know, it's basically like braided. But here we've got, I mean, that took what, a minute? You can see that first loop that we started with here. But that's one piece. So say we do this all the way through. Then we take those two pieces, put them together, and do the same thing. And it gets fatter, right? Thicker rope. And then we do it again, and it gets fatter, increasing the strength, right? So right now, I'm going to pull as hard as I can. All right, there's nothing. That's not breaking. Ready? I'm going to pull it till I can break it. That's as hard as I can pull it, and it's not breaking. So the strength on this, here I've got my finger through that loop. The strength on this is amazing. No, that's as hard as I can physically pull, and it's not breaking. So imagine what you can do with this, right? Everything comes from nature. People have lived out here for millions of years. You can believe what you want to believe. They say, you know, it's only been 10,000 years that there's been people like us, humans, right? Where we communicate and emotions and using hands. No way. You think there haven't been people around here? Different stages of people, yeah. Right? Neanderthals, whatever. Cavemen. Well, people have survived for millions of years, right? So all this man-made stuff, that's all it is. It's all just current, you know, man-made stuff. When you were starting fires, they were using, you know, rocks that they found to spark. Or maybe they figured out, you know, the bow drill. But that's them. That's us also. We're extremely intelligent. We adapt and survive. So, natural cordage, crucial skill to have, because look at that. I've got a piece I'm pulling as hard as I can, and that is not breaking, not even coming close. You know how you can feel when something's going to snap? That's amazing. Think of what you could do with this. You know, rope. I heard a thing that they said at one point in the world, thousands of years ago, rope held the whole world together. All the structures, rope. I think it was in Egypt. Rope, 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 rope. Well, this is what rope is, right? When you see natural rope, that's what it is. It's just, this is it. Getting ready to start our fire. I always wait till the last minute because every minute counts. This is what you've got, right? This firewood. And no matter how much you think you have, so say this is what you've got, right? And you go, that'll be enough. That'll get me through the night. Well, whatever you have, take that, multiply it by 10. Minimum by 10. That's how much wood you'll need to be comfortable through the night. So whatever you got times 10, and then you might have a chance. So I'm just breaking some of this down for kindling. And you can see I changed. I just have a routine. The minute that I see that sun start to go down, I have a routine. So I go, I put on my ski pants. Definitely pick up some ski pants or snowboard pants. You know, Gore-Tex, they're lined. These are Helly Hansen's. You can see I, you know, go through all my stuff. I need to patch this up. Those are some burn holes. And I've got a beautiful down jacket on. So as soon as that sun starts going down, boom, I go. I put on my night stuff, new socks, and get ready for the cold. I just saw Corporal's Corner. I just saw the video. I don't know how long ago he did it. But, oh, here's the tip. You can get the bark off. The bark's, you know, the bark's wet, damp. I always just peel it off. You know, less for it to have to work through to dry. Anyway, so he's talking about people he saw some video. Some guy splitting wood, right? Just like what we're doing right now, except here's the wood. And it's lots of people, right? So look at this axe that I've got. It's a 26-inch axe. And they're going to split this thing, and they're full on. Oh, right? That's very dangerous, because all you got to do is miss. Boom, you're dead. You hit your leg. You're dead because you're out here. How are you going to get help? You're all by yourself. There's nobody here. You start screaming, so what? No one's going to hear you. I mean, if you have a sat phone, you might have a chance, because there's no cell phone coverage out here. So you got to be careful. You got to protect yourself at all times, because if you get injured, it's game over, man. So what you want to do is be down low, right? So you might want to be on your knees and just boom. So what I do every time, you want to spread those legs, right? Choke up on it. Don't take a monster swing. Right here. Right? And then he also was just showing this tip. When you get stuck like that, don't keep pounding down. It's not good. You've already got everything going for you. See this? Just turn it around. See? Turn it around. So now it looks like this. And just come straight down. The force will send a shock wave through that and it'll split it. Right? So we're here. Oh, not enough. Let's do it again. I'll try and get it stuck again. Okay, ready? That's naughty, but you get the point, right? Ready? Choke up. Batter up, right? Not here. How about here? Spread the legs. Aim. You don't need this. Here. Okay, good. We're stuck. Ready? Flip it. See that shock wave? And that hits upside down, sends it up, splits it. So we'll just get some little kindling, and we're going to have 4th of July. You'll see what I mean. Right? Because I practice bushcraft, and you want to have your skills down. So if you have to make a bow drill fire, you saw me make that natural cordage, that could get it done, That's bushcraft, that's real survival. But if you're camping out of your van, I'll show you the way I do it. Look at that beautiful grain. Beautiful. I'll get a couple more. That'll be good. This is one of my prized possessions. This is a 1950s Boy Scout bag. And the quality is just amazing. All you have to do is touch it. Just look at it, the canvas, the stitching. I found it at the Goodwill bins. It had its little frame backpack, a little steel back around the support, the brace. I left that, but it's become my shavings bag, right? So this stuff, this is all possum mentality stuff, right? I came across during the summer, the forest crews at wherever I was had just gone and done work, and there was a pile bigger than my van, so you're talking 20 feet tall, of this. Just wood shavings, because they'd run it through the chipper. So anytime you can find, somebody working with a chipper and it just shreds it, gold. And I took this home. I got a garbage bag, a black garbage bag full of it. I'm still using it, and that was 4 years ago. So that's what's in this bag. These are all my little shavings. There's birch bark in here. Be sure to separate that, don't use that. This stuff is bone dry. Look at that, just beautiful. But my favorite part is this bag. Just bulletproof, gorgeous. They don't make things like they used to. I mean, some people still do, but you're gonna pay a price for it. This stuff, I picked this up at Goodwill for $1 in the bins. All I've done here is I took that dry, tinder. It's all bone dry. I just grabbed a handful of it, stuck it here in the center, right? And then I just built up around it, some fatties, and just kind of a log cabin pattern. And that's about it. It's been about 10 minutes. She's starting to burn down. I'll add some, more fuel to it. That's about it. I'm just gonna have chunky, what do I have tonight? Cream of chicken or something. Chunky Campbell's soup. And I'll edit this video. That's about it. Not much happening tonight. These videos, I edit them while I'm up here at the fire. It's fun. Right? I just have iMovie on the iPhone, and that's what I do. It'll take me an hour, 2 hours. That way, when I get back to Wi-Fi, when I get home, it's good to go. I just upload it. Keeps me, I find that if I shoot it all, then I get home, then you get distracted, then you've got, life happens. You may not have it up for a week. So this way, it gives me something to do at the fire. I edit it, get home, and upload it. That's it. Yeah, that's all for tonight. Just gonna have my soup and edit this video. So I'll catch you mañana. There's that magical blue sit pad. See that? A little oxygen. But listen to this. See if you can pick this up. Ready? This is the trance that you go into. If that's not a war cry, a battle march. And that's why you carry a blue sit pad. Down the river. It took me about 15 minutes to get down here. There was a big washout up above. Remember yesterday when I got my shoes stuck in the quicksand, in the mud? But it's gorgeous. It feels like it's 60 degrees out. Literally. I'm in a t-shirt. What a difference a day makes, right? And this during the summer is going to be an epic swimming hole. I never knew this was down here. I've never been in this area before. So now I know. I added to my list of top secret swimming holes. If anybody ever got a hold of this list, I could sell it for $1 million. So when it's hot during the summer, and we're only, hour and a half away from downtown Portland. People are desperate. And it's these kind of swimming holes that are gold mines. I'm tempted to drink that. That is a killer swimming hole. I checked it, it looks like it's easily 6 foot deep. And what's awesome is you've got, a little beach. It's like Hawaii, Pebble Beach. Look at this setup. See this beautiful little V-shaped cove? You could literally sit in there. It's like a little hot tub. Right here you've got a cooler. Keep your beers ice cold in there. I mean, nature has it all, man. Look at that. Tell me that's not epic. I've definitely learned over the years is that anywhere that's hard to get to, that's your gold mine. Because you think that 9 out of 10 people, they're not going to go through it. They're not going to hike down 15 minutes, right? So it's definitely worth it. The good stuff comes and you put in the effort. Look at this guy. Right? You trek through a little swamp, through some blackberry bushes, get cut up a little bit, climb back up a hill that's got to be at 45 degrees, but you get the reward. Whew. You can see how far down that is. Well worth it. Well worth it. These are pretty consistent. Some beautiful ones. Oh, look at this one. That's over 6 inches. There's always something new to learn. You know, there's 100 different ways to do the same thing. Bulletproof piece of kit. This is a U.S. military shovel, folding shovel. Comes in this killer sheath, heavy duty. This thing is awesome. I just got this one. And it wasn't cheap. I think I had to pay 45 bucks for it. But you can see it changes configurations very easily. You know, so now you got a claw. You can also use these as a seat, right? Just set it down and sit on it right here. Be a little cold, it's a little hard, but what I'm experimenting with is, I've never used, it's got a sharp edge right here, right, and here. Here it's serrated, but here it's sharp, and I've seen people use it as an axe. Obviously you could put a much more intense edge on it, but I'm gonna try it. It weighs, I think 3 pounds, so it's heavy. And that's, I think the sheath itself weighs a couple ounces. But it's bulletproof. You know, putting it in your backpack, if you're backpacking, that's a lot of weight, that's a big decision, but you know, a shovel's an important tool. So let's see. I'm gonna baton some wood down with it. The edge, you know, it's not like a axe where it's just straight on. It's, you know, it's convex. But I bet it'll work. That's it. Yeah, it's a little awkward. You gotta hold it kind of at an angle, but you're trying to go straight down. This is always dangerous, but I'm as low as I can get. Yeah. So she works. That's bad, tough. I like it. I couldn't put bushcraft in the title of the video if I didn't at least start a fire with a ferrocerium rod. It'd be sacrilegious, right? So I've got my little transport vessel, just a piece of bark. It's a little wet, which kind of defeats the purpose, but that's all I got. Some birch bark, ferrocerium rod, and my Mora. Rough up that birch bark. Good trick, always put your knife back in your sheath and put your ferrocerium rod back in its sheath or in your pocket or whatever. So you will lose them. Just practice that. Okay, here we go. Transport. Shavings on before we lose it. My Siberian shavings. Some kindling on there. Quick. Don't one stick it. All right. Don't one stick it. There's your oxygen. Fuel. Yeah, I can't think of anything else for tonight. This will be my last night up here. This is my 4th night. It's been awesome. It's always fun to catch these wild weather changes, right? So we had intense rain, storm, wind, snow, hail, sleet, freezing cold, and then look at today. 60 degrees, t-shirt, down at the river. That's always fun. Yeah, I'll break down camp tomorrow. I'll film that and I'll say goodbye.